We are in beautiful Davenport, Iowa, with a massive crowd. Welcome, all of you. Thank you for being here. Wow. And in a little more than 1 month, the very first Republican caucus will be held right here in this state, as it should be. And by the way, in just a moment, the candidate leading the Republican field by far, Donald J. Trump, will join us for the full hour tonight. Let's be clear. In 2024, the stakes could not be any higher. After 3 years under Joe Biden, our country is imploding on every level. Our economy is wrecked by inflation. Our southern border is an utter disaster. The American people are not safe. Take a look.
What I would say that is unique about the environment that we're in right now in my career is that while there may have been times over the years where individual threats could have been higher here or there than where they might be right now, I've never seen a time where all the threats, or so many of the threats, are all elevated, all at exactly the same time. That's what makes this environment that we're in now so fraught.
Are you concerned that international terrorism threats to the homeland are rising as the border continues to be broken?
I am concerned that we are in an elevated threat environment, a heightened threat environment from foreign terrorist organizations for a whole host of reasons. And obviously their ability to exploit any port of entry, including our southwest border, is a source of concern.
Now, that was the FBI Director, Christopher Wray, today on Capitol Hill. Make no mistake, our wide-open Joe Biden border is now a massive national security nightmare. It is a clear and present danger, and it is only getting worse every day under President Biden. In the past 2 years, well, over, 6,000 illegal immigrants from Afghanistan have crossed our southern border, along with 3,000 Egyptians, more than 600 Iranians, Iran, the #1 state sponsor of terror, more than 500 Syrians, 12,000 Russians, and a whopping 26,000 people from China. This is a dire national security crisis, but that is only one part of the problem. For years, America's bloated bureaucracy, it has now become politicized. That includes the FBI, the DOJ, which have wasted precious time and resources with political motivated witch hunts. They're looking into traditional Catholics or angry parents that go to school board meetings or pro-life advocates that are nonviolent. Trump supporters, Donald Trump himself. Instead of investigating real threats like terrorism, human trafficking, drug trafficking, gang violence, the FBI, their hyper-partisan Washington field office, has obsessively, compulsively been targeting one person, one man, one family, and that's Donald Trump, the Trump Organization, and the Trump family. So now the 45th president is vowing to fight back and obliterate the deep state. Let's take a look.
If you put me back in the White House, their reign is over. Their reign will be over. And they know it. And America will be a free nation once again. We're not a free nation right now. We don't have free press. We don't have free anything. In 2016, I declared, I am your voice. Today, I add, I am your warrior. I am your justice. And for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution. I am your retribution. Not going to let this happen.
Now, that's become a controversy among the left. Wrong, as he said earlier, but we'll play that for him and get a response tonight. Now, that's an important promise. America's weaponized, politicized bureaucracy, it's got to be dismantled. The far-left hacks and the media mob, of course, they disagree. And once again, they are predicting doom and gloom if Donald Trump is elected. Here's the Washington Post yesterday, quote, "The fear of a looming Trump dictatorship." And this is today's headline from Salon.com. Americans are sleepwalking into a Trump dictatorship. It's now their favorite word. Over at fake news, all cable news channels, they're featuring, the same brand of fear-mongering. Obviously, it's clear they don't want to talk about Joe Biden and his failed record. Take a look.
Dictatorship. Is that what we would have if we re-elect Donald Trump?
I think it's a very, very real threat and concern.
I think the phrase sleepwalking into a dictatorship should wake people up. correct me if I'm wrong, it's not going to be the kind of dictatorship with concentration camps and martial law overnight, is it? That's not what we're going to get. We're going to get Trump borrowing from the Orban playbook in Hungary, from the Modi playbook in India. And what does that look like, Jason? What would that look like here in America?
Fears of a dictatorship, the alarming prediction for a second Trump term.
Liz Cheney is right, what she said, that we are sleepwalking into a Donald Trump dictatorship if people don't wake up and remember what Donald Trump was to the 4 years, what he tried to do to our democracy.
Here's the thing. We already know what would happen under a Trump presidency. Why? Because he's already been president. Lower taxes, stronger growth, a secure border, peace in the Middle East, new trade deals, energy independence, and a push to reform our bloated bureaucracy. There was no dictatorship. We did not lose our constitutional rights. We did not go to war. The people who hate Donald Trump, they simply have been and continue to lie to you. Now, it's Joe Biden who has been using the justice system, his DOJ, to inflict retribution against his political rivals. And it's Joe Biden who called Donald Trump's supporters a, quote, threat to America. The very guy that says MAGA Republican, making America great is somehow bad. And it's Joe Biden who is leading this country into the brink of yet another possible war. And that's why Donald Trump is now beating Joe Biden in almost every major poll. Take a look at your screen. The latest Messenger Harris survey has Trump against Joe Biden up by 6 points. So now the big question, can Donald Trump seal the deal and get the country back on track? Joining us now for the